Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever been totally paralyzed by a decision where every single choice just feels wrong? Well, today we're going to get into the Bhagavad Gita to find its ancient but surprisingly modern secret for how to act, even when you're completely stuck.
Okay, so picture this. We're on a battlefield, moments before a huge war is about to kick off. A warrior prince named Arjuna looks out and sees his own family, his friends, his teachers, all lined up, ready to fight him. And in this moment of just total crisis, he puts down his weapons and says these words to his guide.
And look, this isn't just some ancient problem. This is a question we all face, right? It's that feeling of being caught between a rock and a hard place, where the consequences seem so massive that doing anything feels just as bad as doing nothing at all. It's a total paralysis.
So this dilemma that Arjuna is facing, it's the absolute core of the Bhagavad Gita. The whole text is basically a conversation between him, a man totally frozen by his situation, and his divine charioteer, Krishna. Let's really dig into what's going on here.
I mean, he is in an impossible spot, a classic lose-lose. If he fights, he's killing the people he loves. If he backs down, he's abandoning his duty, his dharma, which will throw the whole kingdom into chaos. Every single path he can see just leads to disaster.
So right at this moment of total breakdown, Krishna steps in. But his advice isn't some simple pep talk. No, what he offers is a completely radical idea that's going to flip the whole meaning of action right on its head. And here's the big secret, the mind-bending twist. Krishna says the problem isn't the action itself. The problem is our obsession with the results of the action. He says real freedom comes when you can act with total commitment, but completely let go of what happens next. You give it your all, but you don't cling to success or failure.
Now this whole path, this incredible idea, has a name. It's called Karma Yoga. You can think of it as the art of skillful action. It's about doing your work, doing your duty, not for what you can get out of it, but as an offering to something bigger than yourself.
This chart just nails the difference. I mean, let's be real. Most of us live on the left side of this chart, right? We do things because we want praise, or a promotion, or a win, and that leads to all kinds of stress. Karma Yoga flips the script entirely. You shift your focus to just doing the right thing, to doing your best. And the crazy part is, that's what actually leads to peace, and ironically, better results.
Okay, but I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? How do you put your heart and soul into something and not care about the outcome? Well, Krishna's answer goes really, really deep. It all comes down to who you think you are. So according to the Gita, there are kind of two yous. There's your everyday self, your body, your personality, your ego, the part that gets stressed and worried. But then there's your capital S, self, the Atman. This is the real you. It's this deep, quiet, eternal awareness that's always there, unchanging.
I love this idea. Your true self is like the screen at a movie theater. It's just there, silently watching. It doesn't actually do anything in the movie. The movie itself, all the action, the drama of our lives, that's all being played out by our temporary bodies and minds, by the forces of nature. The screen remains untouched. This is probably one of the most famous lines in the whole text, and it's such a powerful image. It tells us that our real essence, that Atman, can't be destroyed. The body is just like a set of clothes you wear for a while. And when you really start to feel that, the daily wins and losses, they just don't seem quite so life or death anymore.
All right, so if the true self is just watching the show, then what's making us act? And, more practically, how do we actually start to feel this truth for ourselves, instead of just talking about it?
The Gita has a word for the force that keeps us confused, Maya. Think of it like a grand cosmic illusion, a sort of veil of smoke and mirrors. Maya is what makes us forget our true nature, completely caught up in our egos, making us believe I am the one doing this, and I am the one who's going to get the reward or the punishment.
So if Maya is the illusion that's got us trapped, wisdom, what the Gita calls jnana, is the sword that cuts us free. It's that moment of clear seeing, that flash of insight that cuts right through all the fog of the ego and lets us glimpse who we really are. And this isn't just theory. The text gives us a roadmap, a kind of training manual for the mind. It is a tough path for sure. It starts with getting control of your senses, so you're not just yanked around by everything you see and hear. Then you have to tackle desire, which is a huge one. From there, you build faith and devotion, which is what ultimately leads to wisdom, and finally, to that ultimate goal of supreme peace.
So, what's the end result of all this? What is a person who's actually achieved this freedom? What do they even look like, walking around in the world?
Well, first things first, This isn't about running off to a cave. Not at all. A liberated person is fully in the world. They might be a leader, an artist, a parent. They are acting powerfully and effectively. The only difference is that, on the inside, they have this unshakable core of peace, because their happiness just isn't tied to the chaos of the outside world.
And this is so key. This isn't someone who's become numb or passive. It's the total opposite. They found a source of joy inside themselves that is so deep and so real that the ups and downs of life can't touch it. So when they act, it comes from a place of real clarity and freedom, not from a place of need or fear.
And that brings us all the way back to Arjuna, totally frozen on his chariot. The person we're talking about here, they are the solution to Arjuna's dilemma. They can do what needs to be done even if it's incredibly hard, because their spirit isn't riding on the roller coaster of consequences.
Ultimately, the Gita doesn't just give us answers. It leaves us with a really powerful question. A question for you. If you could act without being afraid of failure and without needing anyone's praise, what would you do? What amazing thing would you start? What hard conversation would you finally have? Because the secret of action, it turns out, is really the secret